welcome to the Tea and a Buddy podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And we're going to be talking about American place names that British people just cannot pronounce correctly today.
It sounds kind of funny because you just...
And you know, looking at this list I've got, I was like, yeah, I was saying them wrong too.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
It's funny because you always think of Americans being the ones who can't pronounce things correctly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's how it's...
Well, we're going to talk about that
that's
in the next episode too.
Yeah. That's how it's portrayed on television. That's how it's portrayed on YouTube. You know, but it works both ways. There's words and names and things that British people can't pronounce
getting
either.
It wrong. No, there is, and you know, it's yeah, we're gonna talk about.
And then there's the question always of, I mean, I think when we do the vice versa episode.
Versa Vice.
The sister podcast to this episode.
Yeah, because we usually do, like, you know, if a topic can be split into two, we usually do that, you know.
I think when we do that, there will be a little bit more room for discussion of just pronouncing things incorrectly in general. Yeah. As opposed to,
it's names you don't really, like, say all day, you know, every day, you know,
but in this case, I mean, I think some of the ones that are on your list, it could be argued that British people are just pronouncing it with a British accent rather than pronouncing it incorrectly.
Sometimes, but no.
Whereas I think a lot of the ones on the British list, Americans just have absolutely no idea how they're pronounced. It's not a matter of accent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, on this one, I think there are some place names on this list that, it just depends on who you ask, whether they're pronouncing it incorrectly or whether they're just pronouncing it with a British accent.
Yeah. With a British accent, in the British way.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first name on this American list is one that, you know, when I used to see it, I used to be like, okay, that it just looks like a name you can't really say.
What do you mean? Well,
I heard it before, but I don't think I'd ever seen it spelled anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, when I saw it spelled, I was like, where are they going? I was like, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And you know, it's Albuquerque. Albuquerque, I used to say. Albuquerque.
Albuquerque,
yeah. Albuquerque. Quirky?
But yeah, I mean...
Albuquerque. Albuquerque.
Yeah, Albuquerque. It's a place in New Mexico, for anybody who doesn't know. And yeah, when you look at it, I mean, well, do you want to spell it out for anybody who has absolutely no idea how it's spelled?
Albuquerque. And I mean, it sounds French.
Yeah, I guess
Albuquerque.
so. Albuquerque.
And it's just like, get on to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Getting on down to Albuquerque there.
Isn't it a
it's
line from Get Your Kicks on Route 66?
Maybe, yeah.
Albuquerque. I don't know, maybe.
Albuquerque. Yeah, something, you know, it's like hitting all these like place names in the US, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a crazy looking word. Yeah, I don't blame anybody for not being able to pronounce that. Even if they're American, if they've never seen it in writing, I can see how it would be difficult to pronounce. Yeah, definitely. K at the end is obviously like Spanish.
Maybe Spanish. Yeah.
Querque, you know.
Querque.
Q-U-E.
Querque.
I think it's a Native American. I think it's derived from
that's true.
The Native American language, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the next one on the list. You didn't know how to pronounce that?
I used to pronounce it Arkansas.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, okay, it's...
Arkansas.
It's Arkansas. It's Arkansas.
Arkansas. You know, Arkansas.
Okay, interesting.
Arkansas.
This is all news to me. You know,
Arkansas.
I enjoy doing these kind of topics.
It's Arkansas, and I was like, where's the W? He's like, why are you saying saw? Because it's like Kansas.
Arkansas. That's what I would have assumed you.
Yeah, no, I used to say Arkansas and then Kansas, and it's just like, well, it's got Kansas in the word. Where does Kansas? Why do you call it Kansas?
I have no idea why it's pronounced like that. I just accent maybe. Arkansas.
Arkansas. Yeah.
I mean, it's very clearly it looks like Arkansas.
Well, this isn't on the list, but,
Arkansas. Yeah. It very clearly looks like Arkansas.
This isn't on the list, but Missouri. Saying Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
That's like an old country way of saying Missouri.
Yeah.
Missouri. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the way some people pronounce it. Some people with a certain accent.
A certain accent, which we won't go into.
So maybe
Arkansas.
So you're saying maybe that's why Arkansas. Yeah.
Arkansas.
Get on over there to Arkansas. Yeah, that's funny though. I wouldn't have thought about it, but yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but no, when I was reading it, they live in Arkansas. Arkansas.
That's so funny. I love doing these topics because every once in a while we hit upon a topic that you and I have never actually discussed.
We've never talked about this before. Yeah, you see?
So it's news to me that you didn't know how to pronounce some of these, and I think it's interesting.
The next name is Bangor. Bangor in Maine.
Yeah.
To say Bangor. Apparently it's Bangor.
Bangor, yeah.
Bangor,
Maine.
And it's also a place in North Wales. It's like, I think it's the most populous town in North Wales. And they say Bangor as well, I think. In Bangor. In Bangor.
Bangor, Maine.
And it's spelt the same way, Bangor. But yeah, I've seen Bangor.
This is one.
Banger.
This is one that I'm not sure of. I think
you
saw it. You
pronounced
saw it
Bangor,
phonetically.
Yeah. They pronounce apparently Bangor up there.
Oh,
Bangor,
Maine.
Bangor, Maine. Yeah. So whereas a British person would probably say Bangor.
Yeah.
Banger.
I mean, Albuquerque.
Because they say, "Oh, go to Bangor."
Albuquerque and Arkansas are close to Texas, so I'm very familiar with them and I know how to pronounce them. Bangor, Maine is quite a ways away, and I've never been there.
Quite a ways away.
I've never been there. It's not a really, I don't think, populous state, and
it's up on the northeast.
Bangor is not, a town or
right
a
next
city
to Canada
that you usually hear about a lot. So I don't know how I would have pronounced this, actually, Bangor. But I think I would have said Bangor, but probably just because I'm familiar with the Welsh place called Bangor.
Yeah, we've never been there together.
No.
I mean, I think I passed through it once.
It has Beatle
connections. There you go.
Beatles connections. Yeah.
They first met the Maharishi there.
Mm.
The next one is Birmingham. In Alabama, Birmingham.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I say, I'm going to Birmingham, Alabama, they'd know what I meant.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, it's Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah.
Birmingham. And it's just like, you presume that's how Birmingham, because they're spelt exactly the same way. You'd assume that's how Birmingham in the UK is said too, but everyone's like, no, it's Birmingham. And that's a case of the accent too.
Yeah,
it's Birmingham. And it's like, that's why they say Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace.
Birmingham.
And when it's Buckingham,
even posh people would say Birmingham.
Birmingham, yes.
Birmingham.
Yes, Birmingham.
Posh people.
We're going to Birmingham.
Posh people wouldn't say
Birmingham. They wouldn't say Birmingham because they don't know where it is.
I was going to say they wouldn't talk about it at all.
It's like, oh, Birmingham, a dreadful place. Ghastly. Utterly beastly. Ghastly place.
Now, this is one of those things where I've been married to you for too long because...
Too long!
It now feels awkward for me to say Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham, I now want to say Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah. I'm going to Birmingham.
And I've never been
It's kind of like a country way to say it, really, if you think about it. Going up there to Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham, yeah. Birmingham. And
over there to Birmingham.
Or heading over there to Birmingham.
I think it's
that. Yeah, we're just getting into the country here.
Yeah, well, the accent in Alabama is like that sort of deep south still.
But it's still drawn out.
But it's a bit more, you're going toward the west a little bit with that accent now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit like Birmingham. I think some people do say Birmingham. I can hear them saying it like with a certain
There's a cross-culture pollination or whatever they call it happening.
Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah.
I just want to say Greenbow, Alabama.
Let us know how you guys say it. I mean, it's definitely Birmingham, I think, for most people.
Alabama, we say Alabama.
That's how I mean Birmingham, Alabama. Not Alabama.
Alabama. Alabama. Going up to Alabama, you boy. Going up to Birmingham and Bangor in Maine, are you? Oh, yes, you love it. You love it, you do.
It just sounds wrong.
The next one. Boys. That's how, when I saw it, I read it, I was like, Boys, Idaho.
Yeah.
Boys, Idaho. And
but it's actually Boise.
Boise! Like Boise from Only Fools and Horses. It's just boys, it's like boys.
Yeah.
Boise. And I mean, that's like a French kind of like.
Bois. It would be, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be more like
Boise. No, it would Boise. Boise.
It would be Boise.
Boise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boise.
Boise, probably, yeah. Boise.
Yes, Boise.
It might be French. I mean, I really have no idea. It kind of looks French, yeah.
Yeah, I'm imagining there was some of that happening.
But it's definitely Boise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really think of other words that end with E where you pronounce the E like E, though.
Like Boise, yeah.
Yeah.
Boise.
I mean, yeah, what are some other words like that? So I can see how people would not know how to pronounce that name, definitely.
Yeah.
But for, people in America, I think
in Idaho, Boise, Idaho. I think it's
Boise.
a state capital, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Next one is Michigan.
Yeah.
I say Michigan, you say Michigan.
Yeah. I think this is one of the ones, like, is that a mispronunciation or is that just an accent thing,
Michigan.
I mean, obviously, if you don't know that we pronounce it like Michigan, you might pronounce it like Michigan. But yeah. I think
Michigan, yeah.
You do know that we pronounce it like Michigan and you still say Michigan.
I still say Michigan because, it's like...
I think that's an accent thing then.
Maybe,
it's not a mispronunciation,
Yeah.
Because we pronounce it like Michigan. And you still...
Michigan, and then Michigan.
You still pronounce it like Michigan, even though we have told you not to.
Yeah, I do, and that's what... I do. I mean, yeah. I absolutely do. So,
yeah. I don't think there's...
I think there may be even... I swear I've heard Americans calling it Michigan.
No, I was just gonna say I don't think I can imagine
any Americans out there call it Michigan, like a TH kind of sound?
No.
Or is it SH?
It's Michigan. Yeah, it's Michigan. I don't know. There's no Americans out there that mispronounce it, no.
Well, this one, whenever I read it, I'd always pronounce it Yosemite.
Yosemite?
Yosemite. It's Yosemite! The national park.
Yes, which is actually Yosemite.
Yosemite, and people would say Yosemite, and I'd be like, the Yosemite National Park, and I'd be like, oh, is that like, I wouldn't think it was the same park. I think Yosemite was something different. Because I always thought Yosemite would have been like, Y-O, something, like.
E-Y, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's another one.
Yosemite.
Like Boise, Yosemite. Ends with an E and it sounds like E at the end. It's another one of the words or names,
Yeah. Yosemite.
I don't know if this
Yosemite
comes from, like, a Native American language.
Yeah, I think Yosemite, like Tecumseh. Tecumseh. And, yeah, that's another native.
Tecumseh.
Was it Tecumseh, Washington? Tecumseh?
Oh, now I can't
Tecumseh?
That's not how it's pronounced.
Tecumseh. Tecumseh.
Oh,
Yeah, see, you don't even know.
Tecumseh.
Tecumseh? Is that Washington or is it New York?
Oh God, I don't know. You're confusing me.
I'm confusing you now because it's Yosemite. It's Yosemite, everybody, isn't it? I'm right, aren't I? No, Yosemite. People used to say Yosemite, and I just think it was another national park until someone wrote it out and said, okay, yeah, Yosemite. And I was like, oh, that's how you say it.
Yeah, Yosemite.
The next one is Des Moines. It's Des Moines, okay?
This is another state capital, by the way.
It's like you seeing the word fate and going, feet! It's feet!
Yes.
It's feet, and I will... And, the K and key, I'm going quay. Oh, it's quay!
I have to say quay, you guys. I cannot. With the key. It's just like quay. It's
quay. And funnily enough, it was a friend in school who used to, because I'm from Torquay, which is spelt Quay. Mm-hmm. And he used to say Torquay. He used to pronounce it like that. He was a Welsh.
And he lived there?
Yeah, no, he was Welsh.
You mean when
Torquay.
You lived in Wales?
Yeah, I've been down to Torquay, and I'm like, it's Torquay. And I said, no, it's Torquay. It's spelt like that. Yeah. And I'm like, key is how it's pronounced. Yeah. Quay is key. No, it's quay. No, I don't agree. It's quay. Goodbye.
because we have like the Florida Keys.
Florida Keys, yeah, but it's spelled Keys. If the Florida Keys were in Britain, it would be Quays. But yeah,
it's Des Moines.
Des Moines, Iowa. Yeah.
A silly story that goes along with this is when you're in like, I don't know, what is it, fourth grade, fourth grade, you have to learn all the state capitals. And I remember staying up really late one night, I think we were going to have the test the next day or something. So my mom was like really working with me and drilling them into my head,
Des Moines.
Des Moines. Because
Moines.
Just because it sounded more like something that would stick in your head. Des Moines, Iowa. She did this little like voice like that. Des Moines, Iowa. And so from
Des Moines, right?
Every time I see Des Moines, I just think Des Moines, Iowa. Just because, she just did these little tricks, little songs, little like word association things just to help you remember, It was Des Moines, Iowa. That's all I think every time.
Des Moines, Iowa. If I saw that, it would be Des Moines. Presenter of the Drive Time show on Radio 2, it's...
Oh, yeah, because Des is a...
Desmond.
Oh, that is another podcast topic, you guys. I cannot take the shortening of names in Britain.
And his brother, Des Plains, from Illinois. Would that be like Des Plaines?
To be perfectly honest,
and that's a little bit like
I do not
Fantasy
know this
Island,
place,
isn't it?
Shut up. I am assuming it's Des Plaines, Illinois.
Des Plaines, yeah.
Des Plaines. I'm not familiar with this place. So there you go. Your guess is as good as mine in this case. It's DES. The next place on his list here. DES, just like Des Moines. DES PLAINES. Des Plaines? Des Plaines.
It's probably Des Plaines.
Des Plaines, Illinois.
But it's really Des Plaines who presents the Drive Time show on Radio 2.
I don't know. Do we have any listeners in Illinois? Let us know how you pronounce this one.
I think Des Plaines. Des
Plaines.
Yeah, which is very Fantasy Island. I mean, if you've never heard of that show,
Plaines.
It was an old show with Ricardo Montalban.
Yes, we get
Villa Chase.
Des Plaines.
Yes.
God, get out.
Who was also in The Man with the Golden Gun.
Get out.
Yes. Okay, the next one we know very well. Houston.
Yes.
Houston, we have a problem.
It just makes me crazy.
And it's not the pronunciation of this word.
It makes me crazy, but at the same time, I do find it cute when you say Houston.
Houston. It's Houston, okay? It's Houston, he is a who.
I mean, why is it Houston to you, though? Obviously, we're talking about Houston.
Because you say Houston. Yeah, because you say Houston, so it's just like Houston, you know?
So...
because everybody would say Houston, you know.
Well, in like New York.
And I mean I'm presuming some British people would say Houston if they'd never heard the word or seen it written down before, you know.
Yeah. So how would you pronounce like Huston then? Huston, whatever.
Hugh, yeah, maybe Huey, like Huey Lewis in the news. It's Houston.
You would need like a Hughston to pronounce
Hugh,
it like Hugh.
Or Huw.
Huw
is also Hugh.
Huw?
Yes, Hugh. Who? It's a very Welsh who. Who?
No.
Who?
That sounds too complicated. That sounds like you wouldn't pronounce the H in that case then.
Well, we barely do.
And it would just be Houston.
Yeah. Houston.
But you guys have a Houston, and it's Euston.
Houston. Yeah, well, Houston Station. Yeah. Houston Bus Station. Houston Train Station. Yeah. It's,
So would you pronounce that Houston if there was an H in
probably,
front of it?
Yeah. Houston.
H-O.
Gotta get the train from Houston, haven't I?
Houston.
Yeah. Okay, the next one. La Jolla. La Jolla, alright? It's La Jolla.
Yeah.
But that's again, all the, like, you know, Spanish sounding words, you know, all the Spanish words.
Yeah.
It's the same if you go to Spain, you know, it's like Mallorca's Majorca.
Yeah.
You know?
Next week we're going to talk about that a little bit more because we're currently running a question on our Twitter account, which if you guys don't follow us on Twitter, it's at TButty, TEABUTTY, where Dominic asked British people to leave Americans questions, and one of the questions I think was something to do with why do you not pronounce the H in herbs, you know?
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, so we're going to get into the things like La Jolla.
La Jolla.
But
all over. No, the only way I knew how to pronounce that was because of the Beach Boys. All over La Jolla.
La Jolla, yeah. It would really be La
Jolla. I think they
said
said
in Spanish is ya. It's a ya sound. So La Jolla. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think it was in Surfing USA.
But I have heard Americans pronounce it La Jolla. Though.
La Jolla for $1.
Which is funny because they pronounce the J like Spanish, like the correct way, but then they pronounce the L's, you know?
Well, it's like jalapeno and jalapeno.
Yeah.
Jalapeno peppers.
There are people who do it correctly and say jalapeno.
No, it's jalapeno, mate. There's a J, okay? And I know, because I was cutting up jalapenos for me curry. Yeah. But yeah, La Jolla.
Yeah.
La Jolla.
Yeah, the spelling.
La Jolla.
The spelling is L-A, next word Jolla.
La Jolla, California. Yeah. The next one is La Jolla. Yeah, well, no, it would be. And there's another place in California, El Cajon. I think it's near San Diego. And they used to say that, you know, it's Cajon, El Cajun. El Cajun. Innit? I mean, why didn't you, you know, like Cajun food? Why didn't you say that Cajon?
Cajon?
Cajon.
Because it's not a Spanish word.
Well, isn't it? It's just a U and an O. You're just placing an O with a U, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go, you see. Figured it all out for you see. Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Louisville, Kentucky.
I think there's some... It's Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville.
Although,
yeah, because I mean...
people say Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville.
So they don't even say Louisville. They say
Louis.
Louisville.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably Americans who pronounce it Louisville.
Well, I mean, you know, they get confused with St. Louis, Missouri, don't they? Which is...
Do they?
I don't know. Yeah, that's the next one. Oh, no. Raleigh is the next one. Raleigh, North Carolina. Which apparently is like Raleigh.
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 Yeah.
Raleigh, because it's like Raleigh. Because it's like the accent, isn't it?
But wait, how did you say it?
Rally.
Rally?
Yeah, like the bike rally.
Yeah, but
and I think there's a rally in North Yorkshire. Maybe.
But I have a feeling that Raleigh comes from posh British people. You don't pronounce most of your A's like Oz, like a lot of British people.
No, we don't do that at all. That would be simply ghastly.
Like I can't.
I can't can't do that. I cannot do that.
You don't have that British accent,
No.
but I have a feeling that that's where Raleigh came. That's why it's Raleigh, because it's Raleigh. Because Leigh. Okay, it's Raleigh, just for anyone wondering.
I used to have a rally. It was called a
and you
rally.
called it Rally.
It was on my rally bike, and it was spelt like that,
I mean, obviously, Leigh, Leigh, that's how you're going to pronounce it, Leigh, right?
Yeah.
How would you pronounce it?
It's like lay.
Lay?
Lay, yeah, because I used to see that. Because I had a friend in school who spelt his name, because everybody else spelt their name Lee, Lee,
Yeah.
He spelt his name Leigh.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's Lay.
It's
not
Lee.
But it's Lee.
but
I'd be like, it's Lay.
So I think
like
if
Slay.
So I think if you were from a different area of Britain and had a different accent,
A different area.
you would probably pronounce it Raleigh.
Hmm.
You wouldn't think that was a weird pronunciation,
Yeah. The next one is St. Louis.
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah.
I say St. Louis because of Louisville now. Because I think, Louisville, Kentucky, St. Louis. It's like, no, it's not St. Louis. It's St. Louis. Meet me in St. Louis.
Yeah. No, they do. They do pronounce it like that. Meet me in St. Louis. So it just really depends on who you ask. Maybe the age of the person as well.
Yeah.
I think the majority of people pronounce it St. Louis.
St. Louis.
But there definitely there are some people who would pronounce it St. Louis.
And the next one, Salem.
Salem?
I used to say Salem, yeah.
What?
Salem, yeah. It's like, the witch trials of Salem.
There's not a Salem.
Salem
it is.
Salem, yeah.
There's not a Salem in
Massachusetts.
No, in Britain anywhere.
Maybe.
We have Salems everywhere in America.
Salem.
Salem's here. Salem this. Salem that.
I don't know. Maybe.
I
don't know.
Salem.
Maybe that came from over here. That's like a uniquely American continent word.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Maybe it's like Salem this, Salem that, because you're selling things. Salem.
Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Salem, Oregon. Yeah. But yeah, it's Salem. Salem. Salem.
Next one is San Joe's. San Joe's, okay?
Yeah.
And you can't tell me any different. It's San Joe's, okay? Right. San Jose.
I mean, this again is the same
San Jose
thing as La Jolla, La Jolla, Yeah, that's pretty much it. I can understand British people not pronouncing it correctly. Although, I think you and I had the discussion once of like, does that name not really exist in Britain? Because British people are so known for going to Spain and
but they still don't know.
I think it's not a really popular name in Spain, actually.
No.
I think it's more of a Mexican name, interestingly.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong. I could be just totally making that up. I don't know, but...
Next one is Spokane.
Yeah.
It's Spokane.
Spokane.
No, it's Spokane.
Spokane?
Yeah. Isn't it? Right? I'm sure that was what the thing.
Spokane. I have always said Spokane. I've never been there, so...
It's in Washington
Spokane.
State. Spokane. I used to say Spokane, because it's
Spokane.
Spokane.
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's news to me.
Spokane. If you're from Washington, let us know if you say Spokane or Spokane.
Yeah.
The next one is Syracuse.
Oh no.
Syracuse.
No, I've been there.
Yeah, you've been there, haven't you? Syracuse, New York.
Syracuse. Syracuse.
And it would make, Syracuse. Syracuse, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I can see the mispronunciation of that.
Yeah. Topica.
Topica, get out.
Topica. Topica. Topica.
For it to be Topica, it would have to be CK. We're talking about Topeka, Kansas.
Topeka.
Topeka.
Topica.
Topeka.
It's a Topica, isn't it? You know.
It would have to be CK for that to be
Topica.
Eka.
Topica.
Whatever.
I actually did used to pronounce this Tucson.
Oh, yeah.
Tucson, Arizona. Tucson, Arizona. And that's probably how a lot of people in Britain pronounce it, Tucson. They see it written down, they go Tucson.
Really?
But it's actually...
It's quite a...
Tucson.
Yeah. It's quite a famous place name in America.
Well, it's not as famous as to be mispronounced by me as Tucson. I'm sorry.
Tucson, yeah. Tucson. I do remember having difficulty with that one as a kid, yeah, because it's just awkward. I don't know. It looks kind of awkward and it's a bit weird, but yeah, it's Tucson. I don't think anybody in America mispronounces that.
Oh, no Tusker, like Tuscaloosa.
No.
Tucson. The last one is Van Nuys. Every time I saw that, Van Nuys, California. Van Nuys.
It's hard.
Van Nuys. And it's Van Nuys.
Van Nuys.
Yeah.
I think it's just Van Nuys, isn't it?
Van Nuys. No, I think it's... Van Nuys.
No, yeah, it's weird and it's crazy.
Like, we are nigh with a knee.
Van Nuys, California.
You say knee.
VANNUYS.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a crazy one. I don't blame people for
It's like Dutch or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Van. Van.
Van.
Yeah.
Van der Valk.
I mean, we didn't look into the origins of these place names. So
Van Nuys.
If you know and you want to inform us,
Van Nuys.
go right ahead.
Van Nuys.
We welcome it. Okay. Anyway, I think we're out of time. I hope you enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support. Do be sure to check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at TButty, TEABUTTY. And we'll talk to you next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.